Welcome to Altair Engineering Training and Support. In this video, I am going to cover how to do geometry editing and meshing on a 2D roll cage structure. So first I'll show you how to create a 2D surface structure in HyperMesh, and then how to do the geometry editing, required geometry editing, and then the meshing. So in this video, I am going to cover how to split the geometry. So first we'll import the line data, that is the center line data of the roll cage structure that we will import first, and then we'll split the geometry as per the symmetry. If there is a symmetry, we'll split the geometry into two. We'll only work for the one half, the other half will directly reflect it. Then we create appropriate components for different functions, like we create circle components to create circle, square components to create square cross sections if you have any square cross sections. In a similar way, we create some different cross sections. We create some different components, some for circular surfaces, for square surfaces. Then I will show you how to create circular lines on that portion, that is perpendicular to that line segment. How to create circular lines, how to create square lines, then how to create surfaces using those circular and square lines, then how to join the two circular pipes, how to join them. Then we will see how to do 2D meshing on the surface which we have created, then quality checks for the 2D meshing, and then free run to check the elements quality and connectivity. So the roll cage structure which I am using, in this roll cage structure I am assuming my outer dia to be 25 mm and inner diameter to be 19 mm. So I am assuming that parameters. As per your pipe structure, you have to define these outer and inner diameter. So with this we can calculate that the outer radius is 12.5 mm and inner radius is 9.5 mm. So to do the 2D meshing, we require mid surface, because 2D meshing is only done on the mid surface. So once on 2D meshing, once we provide the thickness to these elements, that is the 3 mm, that is thickness of this component. So half the thickness will go up, half the thickness will go down. So the complete 2D structure will get captured with this. So we will generate this mid surface of radius 11 mm. So we will generate a mid surface having the radius as 11 mm. So we will use these data. Then for the square section, I have the outer radius as 25 mm, outer length as 25 mm, inner length as 19 mm. So this is my cross section, hollow cross section. So the middle section on which I am going to create a 2D mesh will be of 22 mm length. The calculation is shown. In the same way, you have to do the calculation for your cross section. If you have any square cross section, then you have to do the calculations in this way. If you have a circular cross section, you have to do the calculations in this way. That is, you have to find the radius and then calculate the middle surface first. For the radius, for the dia, it will change. So this is the radius value. For the diameter, it will be 22 mm diameter. Okay. So we will start with opening of HyperMesh. So go to Start, All Programs, Altair HyperWorks 12. Click on HyperMesh. Once you click on HyperMesh, it will open the HyperMesh GUI. It will show you a license warning. Once it's open, it asks you to define a user profile, to set a user profile. So user profile defines the type of solver you are going to use to create a deck for the particular solver. So this, as in this video, I am going to perform only free run and the meshing and geometry editing stuff. So I will select the radius bulk data user profile and click on OK. Then I will import my line structure. So to import the line structure, I will click on Import Geometry. Select the file type as auto detect and click on select file option, browse the file, that is roll cage 1D line data structure. Enter the scale factor. First we'll check what are the parameters and then click on import. So first I will see whether my model is in mm or in inches or meter. So first I will check that. So press go to node, geometry, nodes, click on the fourth option and enter the value as 2, number of nodes. So create 2 nodes on any of these beam segments or the segments of your roll cage and check the distance. So go to geometry, distance, from 2 nodes pick node 1, node 2. The distance is 380, that means it is in mm. So HyperMesh generally don't take the unit structure, it takes the value which you enter, it will be the same value you will get in the results. So if you enter the values of in inches or meter or in mm, you will get the results in inches, meter or in mm. So always it's suggested that always make sure your geometry is in mm. If it's not in mm, you can multiply it with a scale factor. So if it's in inches, multiply it by 25.4. If it's in centimeter, multiply it by 10. If it's in meter, multiply it by 1000. So accordingly multiply this with the scale factor and always check with this by the distance panel. Then again go to temporary nodes and clear the nodes which we have created. So as you can see, my geometry is symmetric. So here you can see my geometry is perfectly symmetric. So I will split this geometry. Before that I want to edit something that I will show you how to do that. And so sometimes you may have a cross section something like this along this end, from this end to this end. So this type of cross section you have because that is not symmetric. If we reflect this will get reflected to this side. So this portion is not symmetric. So I will in this video itself I will show you how to create the surfaces or edit the geometry of the unsymmetric portion also. So for that I will create symmetric. In this video I will use some shortkeys, so I will name them in a notepad. So first of all I will name it as F8. This shotkey is used to create nodes, or generalized way is geometry page, nodes panel. It's always better to use shortkeys so that your work will go fast. Geometry page, node panels, or just press F8. Pick this line, create 2 nodes, pick this line, create 2 nodes. So in this way 2 nodes has been created. So I will create a one diagonal line here. For that go to geometry, lines, second option, from this node to this node I will create one line. But as you can see it has created a new component for this line, so I will say reject. Go to components, make this as the current and then say create. So it will be in the same component. Then I am going to use Shift F2, Shift plus F2. This is used for temporary nodes. In geometry page, temp nodes. So in geometry page, temp nodes, or Shift F2 and say clear all to remove the temporary nodes. Now to split the line we require a midpoint of this. So again press F8 from the keyboard and this time enter number of 3, say create. So it will get created as you can see. And now I will split this geometry into 2 sections, that is first half and second half. I will name it as right and left. So as this is in the symmetric, so I will split that in the symmetry. Or you can go to So to split this lines into symmetric or to split it in from the center using this node, go to geometry, line edit, select the option split at plane. So select all the center lines, select the axis perpendicular to the plane in which it is going to split. So it is going to split in XY plane. So it will be splitting in somewhere like this. From this end to this end it will split. So it will split on XY plane. So I will select Z axis and the base point. B stands for the base point. To select the base point along which it is going to split this. Then there are some more lines which it will not split because they are already on the first and the other half. So say skip. All these lines, as you can see, they are already not in the center. We'll skip those. So now it has splitted this into two segments. So I'll again press F2 and say clear all. Then create two components, right and left with a different color, and move the lines on the appropriate components. So to move the lines, I'll use again Shift F11, use to organize, or go to Tools, Page, Organize panel. So in the Tools page, go to Organize, or press Shift F11 from your keyboard. Make it in a make this in a top view. From the drop box, select lines. From the center, select all the lines. Make sure all the 1/2 portion lines are selected. Click on move. Of this, select the destination component to right. Select these lines and say move. So now on the main component there are no geometry, so I will delete it. So I have splitted this geometry into two halves, the right one and the left one. So I will work only for the right one and then I will reflect it. So I will again change the color to red so it will be visible. So I will only create the surfaces, edit the geometry, do the meshing, everything on the first right, and then I will directly reflect it. Now I will show you how to create these surfaces. So till this everything is done. So I will now create these surfaces. So to create the surfaces we require nodes along which we can create the surfaces. So enter these values, say somewhere around greater than 5, 6. So enter 6. Create the nodes. Create one more component as circular line. Define a different color. To create the circular lines, go to Geometry, Lines, select the fourth option, 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth option. Select the node on which you want to create the circle. Select node N1 and N2 along that line, so it will be on perpendicular to this line. Select the radius, enter the radius value which we have calculated, which is 11, and click on create. So it will create a circle. Similarly, along this, from this end to this end, create. Along this, from this end to this end, create. then press F8 again, click return. If you click the middle mouse button, the scroll mouse button, so the highlighted option will be done. Click this node one at a time, say create, then this node, this to this, say create, then this node, say create. So in this way I have created some lines, so I will delete these nodes once it is done. So Shift F2 is used to delete. So in this way I have created circular lines. So by using these lines I will create the surfaces. So I will go to geometry or 2D page, line drag. On 2D page I will click on line drag. Select the radio button as drag geometry. Select the line which you want to drag along the line. So for the circular surfaces I will create one more component as circular surfaces. So it will be easy for me to identify different things and click on drag. So the surface has been generated but it's not showing. So click on shaded geometry and surface edge, so you can see the surface has got created. Also if you go to mixed, you can see the edge colors also. So this line to this extend, similarly from this to this drag, from this for this line drag. So in this way we have dragged all these, and then we'll off these and join this. As you can see, we have to join these cross sections on this, so we will see how to join them. So to join them, go to geometry, surface edit, or press Shift F9 from your keyboard. So Shift plus F9 is used to surface edit, or go to geometry page, surface edit panel. So go to geometry, surface edit, or press Shift F9 from your keyboard. Go to extend option, enter the extend distance approximately somewhere around 200. Select the circular edges which you want to extend and say extend. First of all, if it's up to 4 surfaces, you can extend it all at once. If it's not 4, then you have to extend them one by one. If it's more than 4, you have to extend them one by one. So now you can see it has splitted all these. So I will go to delete panel. I will click on this, and from drop box I will select surfaces and pick these surfaces. Also I will mask, go to mask panel, from the drop box select surfaces and mask these surfaces. And delete the inner cross sections. Again say unmask all. So there is a gap, so we can fill this gap. So to fill this gap, go to geometry, quick edit, or press F11 from your keyboard. So press F11 to quick edit, that is, or you can say H edit panel. Or in geometry page, quick edit panel. In this, select filler surface and pick any one edge, it will fill the required surface. Then go to unsplit and unsplit the unnecessary lines. As you can see, these are the some unnecessary lines which I will unsplit. Also, I will toggle some, or first I will remove these nodes and then I will toggle these. So from this end to this end I will create, because they will not get unsplit. So I have to toggle it, that is I am suppressing it, just the suppressing, so that I can create a smooth edges. Then again this from this end to this end. So in this way I have splitted it. So if I on this line structure, so this portion is ready. In the similar way I will create circular cross sections for this, for all this, and keep on joining them. So you have to one by one create the circular cross sections and join them one by one. So the process will be same. So I will show you for the more than 4 joints. I will show you how to do that. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 joints on this, or also I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 joints for on this particular. So I will show you that. So I will off this first on the circular one. Make this as the current. So once I will create the lines, it will go move to the circular lines. Go to F8 and create the nodes to create the circles. I have the circular portion for this, so I will not create it again and again. Then again geometry, lines, and the fifth option, from this to this create, on this node, this end to this end create, on this node, this end to this end create, from this end to this end create. So in this way I have created circular cross sections again. Then make the circular surface as the current, 2D, line drag, this line drag along this on the surfaces, this line drag along this, then this line drag along this, and this line drag along this line. So in this way I have created the surfaces. I will off this. Again shift F2 and clear the nodes. So now I will one by one trim all the edges and join them. So first of all, go to shift F9. I will extend these two. Go to mask. And delete this. Again go to mask and just unsplit this unwanted surface edges. Now I will after that I will trim with this one. So again shift F9. Go to third option, that is trim with surface planes. So pick this surface, trim with these two. Make sure you check box the trim with both and say trim. So it will get trimmed. Select this surface, select 1, 2, 3. Say mask and delete it. Again F11, unsplit these. Then this one, go to Shift F9, extend, trim this surface with this surface, say trim, delete the extended one, go to mask, mask these, mask, and just delete the inner surface. Again go to F11, unsplit the unwanted edges, then Shift F9 again, extend this, trim with surface, trim this surface to this, and delete this one. Then again go to mask, delete the inner one, always select all the outer ones, then again go to unsplit, and unsplit the unnecessary surface edges. So in this way we have connected, we have done the geometry editing for these two structures. So in the same way you have to keep on doing all these for the top surfaces. So I will now show you how to create square section and how to edit that square section, that I will show you. So I will off this, go to F8, create the nodes. On this particular roll case structure, all my bottom beams are square sections. I will create the square section on the bottom beams. So I will show you how I will create that. So for that, first I will create a component as a square lines. Give him a different color, not the yellow one, say green, say create. And now I will pick one node. I have to create just one cross square section. Rest I will use the position command to position it for the different beams. So go to Shift F4, that is translate command. This is used to translate one node to the other, or go to tools page, translate panel. So either go to tools, translate, or press Shift F4 from your keyboard. From the drop box, select nodes, pick any one node, select y-axis to translate it. The magnitude will be 11, as for the square we have decided to have on the one end 11 and the other end will be 11, so 22 is the total. So magnitude will be 11 for the top one. So I will translate this, or click on nodes, duplicate. Again for the x-axis I will translate it to create a square. So I will select it, x, node, duplicate, 11 in this side, node, duplicate, 11 in this side. Again I will pick this node. So two nodes, duplicate, y-axis, 11 for at the bottom. So in this way I have created 4 corner nodes with reference to which I will create a square section. So I will go to geometry, lines. This time I will pick second option, and create the lines. From this node to this node, create one line. From this node to this node, create one line. From this node to this node, create one line. From this node to this node, create another line. So in this way, I have created a square line segment, as you can see. Press Shift F2 to clear the nodes. So you can see I have defined a square cross section. Now I will go to Tools, Position, select these lines from N1, N2, N3 to N1, N2 and N3 and say Position. So in this way it will get positioned to this, but I'll say reject first and say lines duplicate original component to position back again the duplicate one. So both are here. Once my nodes point is done, so I will clear the nodes and then I will create one more component for square surface and give him a different color, say create. Then again go to 2D, line drag, this line drag along 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 this. So in this way I have created a square section. So I will off this and on this circular one. So you can see this is the circular one and the bottom one is the square one. I will off this again. First I will join these two and then the other one, the circular one. So press Shift F9 again, go to extend these edges and say extend. Then go to delete panel and delete the extended surface. So the joints will remain. Also the inner. So it should be hollow from inside. So this is done. Then I will open the circular one and trim these. So Shift F9. First I will mask this. Then Shift F9. Trim this surface with this portion. So only this portion will get intersected. So I will only select that. Then again go to mask. Mask all the outer ones and delete this one. Then I will go to Shift F9 again, split this surface with this. I have to find which are the surfaces it will intersect with. So these are the surfaces it will intersect with and say trim. Then go to delete panel and delete the extended one. Go to mask, delete. Now you can go to unsplit and unsplit the unnecessary lines, as you can see. So in this way you can do the geometry editing, joining one by one joints for the entire structure. Or else you can go one by one, that first create the circular lines, so make it current. So press F8, create the nodes on the edges, the different edges. So in this way you can create all these circular ones. We cannot create on this, so we will use a different command to create a surface on this curved portion. Now there are two ways. Either you can go to position and position this same circle to all these, or the better way is you can directly go to geometry, lines, radius. On this node, from this end to this end, create. On this node, from this end to this end, create. On this node, from this end to this end, create. From this node, on this node, from this end to this end, create. On this node, from this end to this end, create. So in the same way you can keep on creating for all the structures. So in this way you can see I have created circles for all these line segments. So square and this one is done. So I will just cross check it for all these line segments whether I have created circular lines or not. So as you can see I have left with this center one, so I will create it again here. Also for this one I will create it again here. So in this way you have to just check it again. Lines on this node in N1 and N2, say create. Similarly for this one I cannot select N1 N2 because it is a curved line, so it is not a straight one. So I will select y-axis to create on this node. So I will pick node and say create. So it will create a circular section here. Then I will create surfaces. So I will make the circular surfaces as the current ones. So surfaces will move toward that. So 2D line drag, select this line, drag to this and say drag. So it will create a circular surface as you can see. Similarly this line to drag, this line to drag, then this line drag, this line drag, this line drag, this line and drag, this line drag, this line drag, this line drag, this line and drag. So in the same way you have to drag. So now you can see I have dragged all these surfaces. So if I have the circular one, shift F2 and clear the nodes, clear all. So you can see I have created all the circular cross sections for this. So now I will start joining them one by one, or before that I will create the square sections also. So all of them will join them together. So I will off this square on this square one, press F8, create the nodes, for the bottom section. Now go to tools, position, select line N1 and select all the lines, all the square lines. Lines, duplicate original component from N1, N2, N3 to position it to N1, N2, N3 and say position. Whenever you position, just cross check it whether it is perfectly on the perpendicular axis or not. So it is. So line, duplicate original component, N1, N2, N3 to N1, N2, N3 position. So it is also in a perfect plane, that is okay. Then again line, to this and say position. Again these lines duplicate original, N1, N2, N3, N1, N2, N3 say position. Then from this lines duplicate original component, N1, N2, N3 position for N1, N2 and N3 position. Then again from this lines duplicate original, N1, N2, N3 position it to N1, N2, N3 position. So as you can see, it is not positioned properly, so I will say reject and choose other nodes, say position. So you can see as it has got properly positioned. So if it doesn't get positioned properly, choose the further nodes, because it will, if it's getting here, it will create some error. It may create some error. So again pick these lines duplicate original component, nodes this and this, N1, N2, N3 to N1, N2, N3 and position. Then these lines N1, N2, N3 to N1, N2, N3 or this 3, so it get properly positioned. Position. So I will say reject as I forgot to click duplicates. So I have left with 1, 2, 3 and 4 lines. So again I have done the same thing. So I will say reject lines duplicate original component and project position. Then these lines duplicate original component, N1, N2, N3 to N1, N2, N3 and say position. It is not get properly, so I will say reject, change the nodes, say project, still it is not getting, say reject, N1, N2, N3 position. Now every time it's getting in 45 degrees angle, so you can see it is getting at 45-degree angle, so it is not perfectly perpendicular. So now I will delete these lines. I will try with some other lines, so I will pick these lines, N1, N2, N3 to N1, N2, N3 position. So now you can see as it has positioned properly. Similarly, I will pick these lines 1, 2, 3, 4, from N1, N2, N3 to N1, N2, N3 and say position. So now you can see it is not still get properly positioned, so I will delete these lines again. Again lines, these N1, N2, N3, position it to so I'll say reject lines, duplicate original, position. So now it is properly positioned. Similarly, lines, duplicate original, N1, N2, N3 to N1, N2, N3, say position. So in this way I have created all these surf lines. So now accordingly I will create these surfaces. So 2D, line drag, this line, this, say reject, as I have to make this as the current. So pick this line, this, this and this. So in the same way you can create the surfaces, the square surfaces. So now as you can see I have created the surfaces, all the surfaces of the first half. Now we'll start joining them one by one. So these joints I have done already, that is this first one. So I will just quickly check whether I have left with any one. So yes, as you can see here I have left with this one. So again I will create it here. Circular lines, make it a current component. Then geometry lines on this node along N1, N2, create. Then 2D line drag, this line and drag. Say reject, make this circular surface as the current and say drag. So of this one also, shift F2 and clear all. So now I will start with editing one by one all the geometries. So shift F9, this surface trim with this, then mask and delete this one, then unmask all. After that I will mask this one, shift F9, extend this one, trim with surface planes, surface to this plane and trim. Go to delete, mask this, mask and say delete, unmask all again, mask this, go to F11 and unsplit these unwanted lines. So my geometry will be more easy to handle. Then again unmask all, shift F9, this surface with this one and this one, say trim, delete panel, delete it, go to mask this one, all the outer surface I will mask, and delete the inner one. Then F11 and unsplit it, the unwanted splitting edges, I will unsplit them. So in this way this one is also done. Then shift F9, extend this and this. Similarly I will extend these. Trim with surface, trim this with this, say trim, delete the extended one, go to mask, mask and delete the inner surface. Then shift F9 again, trim this surface with this and this surfaces, say trim, delete the extended one, and delete. Then I will save it again, creating a folder, geometry editing, roll cage 2D first. So with every joint now I will keep on saving it. It's always suggested that with every process keep on saving this file in a different with a different names. So if you get any issues, it is easy to rectify those. So in this way this joint is completed. So I will again move to this, shift F9, extend these, trim with surface, trim this with this one, delete the extended one, say mask, and delete this, unmask all, again shift F9, extend these, extend it a bit more so it will be easy to capture that, mask this pipe, then shift F9, trim this surface with this one, this one, this one and this one, because they are going to intersect only in these surfaces. Then delete the extended, mask the outer one, and delete it, the inner one. Again go to mask this. So now by mistake this one is get deleted. So you can create the surface. So this is the square one, so make this as the square current. Go to 2D or go to geometry surface ruled. From this line to this line create a surface. Geometry surface, this panel, the ruled one, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If it's a straight, select two surface and create a surface. Then unsplit the unwanted lines. Then press Shift F9 again, go to extend. Make it a bit more. Instead of clicking 4 or 5 times, just simply put it a bit more. Surface, this surface, trim with this one, this one, this one, then these two, and the bottom one. So it is going to intersect only with these surfaces. Delete. Go to mask. Select these. Mask. Delete and delete these. Go to unmask all. Go to mask panel and again mask these. F11, unsplit the unwanted lines if there are any. So remove them. Or you can also replace from this point to this. Node to line. Toggle this. From this node to this, toggle this one. Press F11, this node to this node, toggle this one. Again click unmask all, Shift F9, the last joint. This will get trimmed with only these surfaces. Then click on trim. Go to delete and delete the extended one. Mask panel and mask all the outer surfaces. And delete the inner one. So the same process will be followed for all the joints one by one. So you have to completely join all the portions one by one. So in this way you can trim these. Again Shift F9, surface, trim this with this one, delete the extended one, mask all the other surfaces and delete it, unmask all, and then unsplit. There are some points where the splitting lines are not they are not perfectly done, so That also I will show you how to split them perfectly. So one by one, all the joints you have to just clear that, or shift F9 again. Always save the file in the different folders, so as that is not getting properly, so you just save it and again open it. Then again shift F9, extend this bit a little, this one also, so because it has to cross each other properly, so if it's not, you can increase the distance, and then delete the extended, go to mask, and then delete the inner surface. You can hide the lines. F11, unsplit. So either you can do it by one, or you can just simply split, extend all of them and then split. So in this way this joint is also done. Again extend, shift F9, surface, trim this one with these, and unsplit these surfaces. Then the top one again extend this, shift F9, pick the surface, trim with these, then mask all the outer ones, delete F11, you can replace these points, or this to this, or you can simply remove these points. Then the top one, so for the top one, first I will mask this, then shift F9, the curved one will be the same, from this to this, trim, and then delete the extended, go to mask, delete, unmask all, then again go to mask, mask this, so that it will be easy to unsplit these unwanted splitting edges. Then again shift F9, unmask all. If I on these lines, so these also get intersect here, so I will first I will mask this. First I will extend this one, delete, F11 and unsplit these. Then unmask all and shift F9. Trim this surface with these. Go to delete panel, mask, and unsplit the unwanted lines like this. These are the surface edges. Or you can toggle this one and create a new line from this end to this. Toggle it to this end. Also you can replace from this point to this. Then shift F9. Again delete. Mask and delete these. Then again go to unsplit and unsplit these lines. So in this way this joint is done. So in the similar way you can connect all the joints from this to this. Also you can create some split lines like this in the same way by creating the lines for the suspension joints. So during the mesh it will automatically pick these areas and mesh it properly. So during the application of constraint it will be easy for us to pick these areas. So the same way create the lines around this and go to shift F11 and just select shift F9 and select trim with lines and surface plus lines and trim it. Keep all the parameters as it is, like normal to surface and entire surface, so it will get trimmed. Now I will reflect this model. So I will on the line structure. As you can see, this is the line data, and I will reflect this model and connect the proper model for the meshing. This is the half model, so we will do the meshing for the entire structure. So go to tools on these things and go to tools, reflect. For the to reflect the model, go to tools, reflect. Select the surfaces, say surface, duplicate original component, so the duplicate surfaces will be on the same surface and square sections. Select the axis along which you want to reflect. So that's my model is in XY plane, so I will select the axis to be Z, the perpendicular axis to the plane, and the base point should be the point on the center point where you do the splitting, and just click on reflect. Once you click on reflect, it will get reflected, as you can see here. So now I have to just connect the center portion of my roll cage structure, and my roll cage structure is ready to mesh. So I will start with the base square. So shift F9, select this surface and this surface, and say trim. Again this one and this one, trim. This surface, trim. Similarly this surface and this surface, trim. This surface, trim. This one, trim. Similarly trim this with this trim this with this, and this one with this. Trim this surface with this, and this one with, or you can just use surface line, then go to mask. It has to be hollow from inside, so that's why we are using the trim. So as you can see, there are duplicate surfaces here and here also. So I will mask them, and let's see if it's completely hollow from inside or not. If it's not, we'll make them edit again. So just delete this, go to mask panel again. So if I go to F5, if I mask this and this one, it's hollow from inside, but there are red edges. So I will go to F11 and toggle them. So in this way we can connect them. Now for this one also, I will mask these surfaces. Mask and delete the inner all. So again, as this is not connected, so I will just make it connected. And for this one, we can create the surface. So I'll make the square one as make current. Go to geometry, surfaces, and a ruled panel. Select this line, select the second line and say create. Similarly, create first, second, and create. First line, second line, create. First line and second line, create. This is also, I have to toggle it down, this one, and you can also toggle these. So go to line, visualization of these, and check whether there is any free edge or not. So there should not be any free or suppressed edge. All has to be shared. So close this and now open the circular one. Same we will do this surface with this trim, this surface with this trim, this surface and this one trim, this surface and this. Go to toggle and just toggle it down. I will just quickly check whether it is hollow from inside or not. Yes, it is hollow. Then for this portion, same, shift F9, this surface with this surface trim, this surface with this surface trim, trim this one with this one, so we have trimmed this. Now go to F11 and use filler surface to fill this gap. So this is done. We can either unsplit this or we can just toggle it down and join these two. Now about this joint, this one, we have to again join these two, that is 1 and 2 for the half section. Whenever you have something like this cross sections, you have to again after doing the geometry editing, you have to do again the cross sections. So you have to delete this one which is not correct, and then you can, so we'll delete it and then shift F9, go to extend, select this line, enter the value as say 300 somewhere around, just extend it, again extend this, so it has to be intersect like this, and then pick this surface, trim with this one and this one, then delete the extended one, mask all the others, and delete it. So this is done. So I'll unsplit some lines like these. And now about this one, so it has, again it has to be properly connected. So we'll use the circular lines which we have for this one and the line here. So if I off this and shift press F8 first, then shift F4, instead of node select line, from this node to this node we will keep on translating, say 100, and say translate on the circular surface, and a bit 10. So shift F9, trim this surface with this line, delete it. Now about this one, so I will pick the left one on, F8, say somewhere around 20 nodes, return. Then the circular lines, same geometry lines, pick this node, N1, N2, say create, make it as a current, circular, make current, say create. Similarly pick this one, N1, N2, say create, of this circular surfaces, then again shift F9, pick this surface, line, delete, pick this surface, line, and delete. Then of this one, shift F9, extend, so as you can see this one is not proper, so I have to move a little down, so shift F4, translate this line a little lower so that it has to be properly circular. If it's not a circular one, it will not extend properly. So I will move it a little lower. Then again shift F9, surface split, and delete, off. So first of all I will start with this one, so shift F9, extend this. So you can see as it is not getting extended properly. So what else we can do is we can again go to Shift F4, but after picking this line duplicate an original component, pick this node also. This time I will translate it upwards like this, and now go to geometry, surfaces, make the circular surfaces as the make current, pick this line, pick the second line and say create. So I will create a new line using this. Then Shift F9, trim this surface with this one, say trim, go to mask, first delete the extended one, move this line to the circular line, move, then go to mask, and just delete it, say unmask all, F11 and unsplit these unwanted lines. Now go to F9 again, save this file as most of the thing is done, so if anything went wrong we have the saved file. Surfaces, trim this surface with these surfaces, say trim, delete the extended one, go to mask, delete it, F11, unsplit these lines. Also you can toggle these from this point to this point, you can create a new line. Then Shift F9 again, extend this, pick this surface to be trimmed from this to this, delete the extended one. If it's not selecting, that means there is something where it is not splitted. So Shift F2 and say clear all first, and just check where it is not splitted. So you can see with this pipe it is not splitted, so I will to select this pipe too, then go to delete panel and select this, go to mask, mask all the outer surfaces, delete this, F11 unsplit, you can toggle this. So now my geometry editing is done. If I on this square surface, I will save this file as complete and just quickly check where whether I have any free edges or not. So you can see here there are no free edges or no non-manifold, that is yellow, all are the green. That means it is a complete solid hollow structure, enclosed volume. It is a complete enclosed volume. It has to be a complete enclosed volume to do 2D meshing. So I will move to the 2D meshing. So I will save this file, go to geometry, auto cleanup. I quickly do auto cleanup to it. So again I will show you geometry, auto cleanup, surfaces all, target element parameters to 4 and say auto cleanup. So all the edges which are unnecessary in this geometry will get removed automatically. So it is an automated way of removing the unwanted surface edges so that the meshing will not affect much. So now my geometry cleanup process is finished. So I will directly move to do the 2D meshing on this structure. So I'll go to 2D auto mesh panel. Select the mesh size as somewhere around 3. Keep it as a first order. Keep all the other parameters as it is. Select all the surfaces. Shift plus left mouse button and drag and click on mesh. So it will start the meshing process. So it has meshed, but it is saying one of the surfaces is getting failed, like this one. It is not generating the mesh on this surface. So we'll try to do the meshing. Okay, as you can see, it has this has been toggled down. So I will just toggle it. Go to F12. Do the meshing on these two surfaces. Again, F12 is the shortcut for auto mesh panel. So if I off this geometry and create a component again, say 2D mesh, define an appropriate color to it, create, move all the elements, shift F11, move all the elements from this component to 2D mesh, move. So now all these doesn't have the meshing, only this component have the meshing. So in this way my meshing is done, and on the suspension pickup points, you can see the meshing is properly done. So I can pick those, like if I on this one also. So everywhere the suspension pickup points, the meshing is appropriately done. So that is, they don't have any issues for that. So now as my meshing is done, so I will move towards the quality editing, mesh editing. So first of all I will go to tools, check elements. So the main important aspects of, or the qualities which we have to check for the 2D mesh model is, the first is the aspect ratio. It should generally not go beyond 5, the ideal value is, but 10 is acceptable for this type of models. So it should not go beyond somewhere around 10. So it's coming as 29, the maximum aspect ratio. So I will first click on aspect ratio, then click on save field. As you can see, 6 elements out of 2,74,000 elements are failing in the aspect ratio. So now we will check for the aspect ratio. So go to tools, check elements, aspect. So 6 elements are failing. So I will click on save field. I will solve them first. So save field, go to mask, elements, retrieve. So these 6 elements were added. Then reverse and click on mask. Press F to fit to screen. Then it is tough to view this, so we'll add some nodes. So press Shift F2 from your keyboard. Select all the elements. So these are the elements which are failing in aspect ratio. Then press Shift F5 to find the attach elements. Click on find attach. Elements, attach to elements from the drop box. Elements, find attach to elements, and select the elements. Then click on find. Again select the elements, click on find. So these are the elements which are failing in aspect ratio, as you can see here. So what we'll do, instead of improving those quality, we will just simply delete these elements. Press F3 from your keyboard and merge these two nodes. So this has been solved. Press F5, go to mask, shift F2 and remove these, say clear. Then again press F to fit to screen the rest of the failure one. Then press F2 to delete these elements. Delete this one also, the next to the failed element also, and then again press F3 and merge these two nodes. Now press F6 from your keyboard to create the elements. So select create, tria, pick 3 nodes, 1, 2 and 3. So it will create a tria element on the gap. So in this way it has been solved. Again press F5 from the keyboard, mask this, shift F2 and clear these nodes. Then on and off the meshing. Again press F10 to enter to quality check panel, aspect ratio, all are passing. Then in Warpage, as you can see, there are many elements are failing in Warpage, that is 173 elements are failing in Warpage. So that will solve later on. So next is to solve that in Jacobian. 4 elements are failing in Jacobian. Again click on save failed, mask, elements, retrieve, reverse, mask, shift F2, add the nodes. So aspect ratio is the minimum ratio of minimum length to maximum length, and Jacobian is the change of the shape. So again shift F5. So as you can see here that it is distorted. This particular element is very much distorted. So if I press F10 and click on this element, so it is showing that Jacobian is 0.369. So to improve its Jacobian value, I will just increase its length by 3.5, so it will become on a singular plane, or from this end to this end it's somewhere 0.24, so it will become more chord. Then again press F10, so it has increased the Jacobian value to 0.4. Then F5, mask, F2 and clear this node. Here also, as you can see, there are lots of elements which are failing, so press F12 and do the remeshing. The remesh will clear this, say mesh, reject and abort, select mixed, select the elements locally, mesh, then F5, mask, F2 and clear, press F. Here also you can see these elements are not proper, so you can select these elements all and say mesh, click return to accept this meshing. Then press shift F2 and say clear all. On and off the meshing. Again aspect ratio, all are passing. Jacobian, all are passing. Then length. For the dynamic analysis, if we want to perform the dynamic or crash analysis, the length should not be less than 1, because it will take a lot of time to solve this. So always make sure the length should be more than 1 mm. The maximum length criteria, there is no criteria for maximum length, so, but for the minimum length it should be somewhere more than 1. So click on length, save field, mask, elements, retrieve, reverse and mask. Again shift F2, add the nodes, shift F5, find the attached elements. If you press the scroll button, the highlighted thing will happen. So here you can see the length is very less. So we have to improve or increase the length. So F2, delete this, and F3, change this and just merge it. You can just simply merge these nodes. Again F2 and F3. Also this one is also failing, so you can improve that one also. So merge this F3 from this node to this, merge it, and press F6 and create a tria element here and a chord element using these nodes and a tria element using this. Then F5 mask, F2 clear, press F. Then these same, F2 delete this, F3 from this node to this, merge. Similarly delete this one, F3 from this to this, merge. F5 and mask this, shift F2. Once this is done, so you have always clear that. Then this thing can be removed by manually meshing it again. So mesh by face and say mesh, return. Similarly on this end, pick any element by face, mesh and return. F5, mask this, shift F2, clear. Similarly this side also, F12, pick any element by face, mesh, there is some connectivity issue error here, so we will just delete this. And merge these nodes from this to this, this to this, F6 and create a tria element using these three nodes. Similarly on this side, F12, elements by face, mesh, return. Shift F2 and say clear, fit to screen. Similarly on this side also you can see the length is very less. So if I press F4 for find a distance, it is coming as 1.6. So either I can increase our distance little bit or I can delete it. So instead of deleting it, I can just increase the distance a bit from 1.1, a little more. So it will pass the quality criteria. Anything should more than 1 is okay. Then this one, this we can improve by automation. Mesh by face, return, F5, mask, clear. Then for these, its distance is coming as 0.7. So instead of increasing the distance, we can either merge them So just delete it. Press F3 from this node to this. I will first delete it, F3 from this node to this, and then go to F6 and create a try element. Similarly for the other end, press F2 and delete these nodes. Sorry, delete these elements. F3, merge this to this one to this, and create a try element here. F5, mask these, shift F2, clear, F on and off the mesh model. Again press F10 from the keyboard, aspect ratio all are passing, Jacobian all are passing, minimum length 3 are still failing, so click save failed, mask elements, retrieve, reverse, mask, shift F2, add the nodes, shift F5, find the attached elements. They are still failing, so its distance is 1.1, but it is still failing, so I will just simply delete it. Delete this one also. And F3 from this node to this, I will merge it and create a try element. Press F6 from the keyboard. This distance is 1.7, so it is perfect. Then F5 and mask these, shift F2, clear this, F fit to screen. These elements are still failing, so the minimum distance I will check it as 1.7, 1.9, 3, so it's okay, but still it's showing it's failed. In minimum length, if I press F10, minimum length is coming as 0.8. So I will just delete it and change its distance from this end to say 2. Press F6 from the keyboard, create a try element. Press F10, minimum length. Then F5, mask, shift F2, clear. Click on unmask all. Then again press F10 from the keyboard, aspect ratio all are passing, Jacobian all are passing, length all are passing, then minimum angle all are passing, maximum angle is good, minimum angle is also good, 30 is good, and 166 is good. Then we will talk about warpage. 101 elements are failing in warpage, 20 is the maximum limit. So click on warpage, save field, mask, elements, retrieve, reverse, mask. Warpage stands for out of plane angle. It will only happen in chord. So these are all having the out of plane angle. So what we will do, instead of improving the quality, we will just simply make them trias. So if I click on unmask all, then press F10, warpage, all are passing in warpage, aspect ratio, Jacobian, minimum length, minimum angle tria, maximum angle tria, minimum angle chord, maximum angle chord. So my model is perfectly fine. Then press shift F3 from your keyboard to find the connectivity. Click on preview equivalence and find edges. The message no edge were found, selected element may enclose a volume should appear. That means all the elements are properly connected. The message at the bottom of your screen you can see it has to come. That means all the elements are connected. Then I will delete all these. I will first save it, then go to Files, Save As, 2D Meshing, delete these components. So I have only the meshed file, and quickly go for the free run to check whether this model is going to can go for the analysis or not. So for the elements connectivity, quality, everything will perform a free run. So for that we will follow the same MPCLL process, that we create steel, type as isotropic, card image mat1, create edit, values of E, new and row, return, then property, 2D meshing, define a color, type 2D, card image as P shell, material as steel, create edit, thickness as 3, then component, we have the component, so we'll update the component, property to 2D mesh, update, we'll check by colors, so by component, by property, so it should get a color of property elements, then by material, so material color is also there, so everything is fine. Then for the free run, we excite this model with some frequency range, so I will enter the name as free run, card image as EIGRL, create edit, V1, V2 and ND. V1 stands for initial frequency, V2 stands for maximum frequency, so for maximum of 1000 Hertz I am going to excite this. Then this is not for the frequency, actual frequency of the model, that is for the element connectivity and quality. That is, this run is I am performing for the elements connectivity and quality. So I am not, I don't want the results, I want whether this model is going to solve or not. So then I will go to analysis, load step, enter the value as free run, enter the name, then select the type as normal modes, check the box in front of method structure and select free load collector, click create. I will save this file as in a new folder as analysis. I'll save it. Click on radius, select export option to all, run option to analysis, memory option to default, and click on radius to start the solver. In this way you can see my solver has started. So till that time I will show you the total number of elements on my model. So go to tools, count, select FEA entities and say all. So there are total 2,72,892 nodes and 2,74,184 elements on my model. So it will take a little time to solve this model. So now, as you can see, my analysis has got completed.
The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
So here you can see my analysis has got completed. So I will click on results to view the results in HyperView. So my mesh is ready to, my meshing is ready to do any type of analysis. We can perform any type of analysis on this. So we'll just quickly check whether all the beam sections are properly connected or not. So I will click on the contour option and check the Eigen modes. Select the animation mode to view the animation plot whether it is connected. So as you can see, all the beam sections are properly connected. Then the next one. So these are the different mode sections. I am not interested about that values, but I am more interested of free run is to check the connectivity. So all the beams are properly connected, no one is moving out, and the model is solved. So in this way My model is ready to do or ready to perform different types of analysis on this. So in this way, I'll end this video session or video training session. So in this video, I have covered how to split the geometry as per the symmetry, how to import the geometry first. Then we see how to create the appropriate components, circular lines, squares, create surface using the circular and square lines, edit the geometry, generating 2D mesh on the surfaces, quality checks for the 2D meshing, and free run. So thank you very much.